Go. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Periscope? What's up, Facebook? This is Lady Tanya Hart, and I'm so excited to be here with you on tonight. Let's go ahead and pray. Father God, we come right now in the name of Jesus, God. I pray over this scope. I pray over Facebook Live, God, and I pray right now that you would just show your glory on tonight, God. I pray right now that you give clarity like never before. I pray, oh God, that your word will not go out void, that everything I give tonight will be life-changing, will be manifesting, God, that it will be able to advance people to go into the next level, God, in their sickness, oh God. God, I pray right now that any illness that's in any bodies right now, God, that God, you said in your word, by your stripes we're healed. So God, I speak healing over high blood pressure. I speak healing over diabetes, oh God. I speak healing, God, over cancer. I speak healing, God, over headaches right now in the name of Jesus. I speak healing, but most of all, I speak people that are going to put in the work, God, to make these things happen. God, understanding, God, that this is our temple. This is our body, the only body that you've given us for us to move forward in it. So God, I pray right now in the name of Jesus, God, on this scope, on Facebook, on Periscope, God, that it would be life-changing on what I share with the people on tonight. God, I bless you. I honor you and I adore you, oh God. God, you're so amazing. As I look back, God, 3 years ago and the things that doctors told me, the things that doctors said, oh God. God, I thank you, God, that what they said was not the right report. God, I believed your report, and your report is what showed favor, God. Your report is what showed doctors, God, that you are still in the healing business. So, Father, I say thank you. I thank you that everything that they said, oh God, is not my now. God, I thank you that everything that was said is not my now. So, God, I speak right now over every individual as I speak today, that it would be life-changing like never before. In Jesus' name I pray. Hello, Facebook. Facebook, I got Periscope on with us. I'm trying something new, trying something different, getting them a chance to get to know me. But I'm reaching other people. So I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm early because I have a lot to share. Actually, I'm not. I'm done with the prayer. 8:02, perfect. I'm going to have you guys off at 8:30. So I'm going to need your help. Let me know what time it is. Make sure I don't get caught up. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your hearts. As I'm talking, as I'm on here, heart it up, Periscope, heart it up, Facebook. Let me know that you're there. But most of all, not only letting me know that you're there, I want you to dialogue with me. Can you type on the screen? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Type it up. Type it up. I know that there's a delay. Type it up. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. This subject on tonight is so near and dear to my heart. I got on with Periscope a little bit earlier just to kind of let them know who I was and what I'm doing. Again, trying to start something new, do something new. I believe that this my testimony. Thank you. And I sound like this, you guys. My voice is gone. So I've been trying to drink hot coffee. I had a crazy weekend, a lot of singing, a lot of hollering and praising God. So yeah, but I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited to share with you facing your pain and your sickness. Can you put on the screen sickness? Excuse me. Can you put on the screen sickness, sickness, sickness? Just type it out across the screen. Sickness, sickness, sickness. When I deal with facing your pain, most of you know I am the author of There's Power in Your Pain When You Learn to Speak Life Into It. There's power in your pain. And I said, what better way before I start my class? I'm going to be starting a class here at the end of March. It's going to be considered my March Madness. And I'll tell you more about that at the end of this. But tonight I want to tell you, let's talk about facing your pain and your sickness, okay? So facing your pain and your sickness. One of the things I realized with facing your pain, the question is that, you know, what am I going through? The things that I'm experiencing, you know, this is something that was unexpected. When I'm talking about pain, I'm not talking about something that you can pop pills with, that you can pop medicine with. Facebook, can you put the number 1? Let me know you hear me. Let me know that you're there, that you're hearing me right now, because I want to make sure that the music is not too loud. But I'm loving this worship music. But one thing about facing your pain is that all of us have experienced it. I don't care who you are. There's every person. If you have not experienced pain, maybe this may not be for you. If you have not experienced adversity, maybe this is not for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe this is not for you. But if you went through some stuff in your life that you did not expect to happen, I dare you to put the number 2 on the screen. I've been through some stuff, Lady Heart, that I never expected to happen in my life, Tanya. I never think that I would go through this. I had never think that I would experience this. I never thought that this would happen to me, like me. I used to tell people all the time, I thought I was God's favorite. I thought I was God's favorite. I never really experienced like torment or craziness. I've never been molested. Praise God. I've never been through some things like that all the way up until the age 18. I had some amazing parents, that protected us, made sure we didn't stay with crazy people. They did all those things for us. So when I turned about 19, that's when things started happening. But I got married at the age of 20. So it was like, I'm married. This man is taking care of me. Of course, I experienced some things within that time, between 19 and 20. I went through some things, but it wasn't as bad as of what I'm about to share with you guys tonight. I remember I used to tell the people at our church all the time that I'm God's favorite. Can you heart it up if you feel like you're God's favorite? I used to say that all the time. I'm God's favorite. I still say that, but I'm very, very careful of how I say it. I'm God's favorite. And one of the reasons why I would say I was God's favorite, because everywhere I went, God blessed me. It didn't matter. It was like, if I couldn't get a car, I would go to the car lot and pray over the car, and I would anoint the car, Periscope. I would go and put oil. I was one of those girls. I come from the Kojic arena, so it was like, yeah, I'm going to anoint this and I'm going to pray over it. And the next day, 2 days later, week later, it was always a struggle for anything that me and my husband got. But the thing about it was that God always gave it to me. He would always bless me. He would always bless us to have what we wanted. Have you ever been like that? Can you heart it up on the screen? I've been like that, Tanya, where I've been blessed. Like anything I ask for, God will give it to me. A house? Oh, okay, that's what you want. I give it to you. You want a car? Okay, there you go. Whatever it was, God always blessed me with it. And so I always said, God, I'm your favorite. I'm your favorite girl, because you always give me what you want. Well, all of a sudden, that kind of came to a halt. I remember starting the church and everything was good. I had lost weight before we started. I had lost about 35 pounds starting the church and starting New Destiny. And everything was like, oh my God, I'm talking about starting, and not a bragging moment, but a real moment, was that we started off with 5 people. And those 5 people was me, my husband, and my children. All of us started in a small, it was called a community center. And God started sending people, and people started hearing about us, and they started showing up, right? And so as they were showing up, y'all, I'm sorry, this is bothering me. As they were showing up, we went from about 15 people, 20 people, to eventually the week of Easter. We started in October of 2010. And the week of Easter, there was over 100 people that was in the building. And we had only been in ministry for 5 months. 6 months, whatever months that is. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 6 months. We had only been in ministry for 6 months. And God was sending people left and right. Then we went and opened a building, a shopping center. God was sending people left and right again. We were packing out every Sunday. Like, man, every time you looked up, packing out. And we were on cloud 9. Everything was going great. Losing weight. Everything was great, right? Have you ever been there? Can you put the number 1 on the screen? If you've ever been there to where God has blessed you tremendously, he's given you, he's given. And all of a sudden, there was a halt that came. There was a moment that came in your life where you said, man, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that to happen. So when I talk about pain, I'm talking about when your life is all good and when everything is working, and then all of a sudden pain hits. So I talked about last week's sadness. Today we're talking about sickness. So after this was going on, I looked up one day and I did a big thing with our ladies. I did what you call, what was it, y'all? Oh, some of the ladies on here. I did, it was like an exercise thing, and, it was a challenge. There we go. So we did like a challenge. And then when we did a challenge, what happened was in this challenge, you had to lose so much weight, lose so much pounds. And when you lost the weight, what happened was you end up getting money in the end. So I did this workout, did this stuff. It went from my foot got broke one day. We moved in a brand new house, foot got broke. That's a whole nother story. It was just stuff that was happening on top of stuff. So I couldn't really work out anymore the way I wanted to. Because I noticed I started gaining some of that weight back. To make a long story short, I looked up one day, and while I'm walking and I'm encouraging the women, because I would talk to them. I was living in Conroe at the time, and I would be on a Facebook Live. We created a group. Can you heart it up if you was in that group? It was called Think Fit, Don't Quit, something like that. And it was a Think Fit, Don't Quit group. And as we were in this group, what happened was, I would get on there and I'm like, ladies, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. And as I'm saying that, the whole time my hands are swelling, my feet are swelling. The more I walked, the more I swole up. I was swelling and swelling and swelling. The more I walked, the more I swole. So finally I decided, I'm like, I'm not that person that say I'm not going to the doctor, that I'm going to believe God's report. No, I'm not that deep. Can you heart it up? Don't be so deep to where you don't go to the doctor. That's what God give you doctors for. He give you doctors. That's what they're there for. Can somebody heart it up? Or y'all there? Where y'all at? Heart it up for me. It may be a delay. But you had these doctors that they had sent me to. And so when they sent me to these doctors, I went to the doctor or whatever. And so when I went to the doctor told me, well, we need to do more tests because some things, your blood and stuff is not coming up right. Your blood and stuff things are not happening right with your blood. So we need to do some more work, some more tests. So they did some more tests. And then they told me, okay, well, we need to send you to one more doctor just to make sure that this is not it. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Well, we don't want to tell you right now, Miss Harden, because we want to find out exactly what's going on. And so they end up sending me to another doctor. And this doctor did the blood work on me. And I didn't realize that the doctor that they sent me to was a cancer doctor. Well, the doctor told me that, Tanya, there's a chance that you could have cancer because your blood cells are not, some cell, I forgot which cell it was not, I don't know if you've ever had cancer before. It was that one of your cells is not lining up with the other cell. I don't know. So, of course, I didn't hear really anything that they said at that point. And this was back in 2015. And remind you, I told you we were pastoring a church. And I was God's favorite. And I didn't feel like that should have been happening to me. If you feel me, I dare you to heart it up. I feel like, God, we're at the peak of our life right now. And people were being set free. People's lives had been changing. I'm talking about their lives had been changing. People were like, oh my God, it was amazing just to see people that came off the streets that said, I ain't never going to church. I ain't gonna never try church, and see them working in ministry. It was absolutely amazing to have that seat to watch people do this. And all of a sudden the doctor tell me that I had cancer. And this was June. And for those that know, June is my birthday. So, of course, I was devastated. And remind you, when they told me there was a chance, of course, I'm going to take what you say, that I got cancer. Because you're a doctor, and I trust the doctor. Can you heart it up if you feel me? I trust the doctor. I'm trusting what they're saying to me. So I go around all the way until August. Because they said, well, these are the tests that we're taking, but we're going to send you to somebody else, but we can't send you there. They're not available with your insurance until such and such date. And that date was like October. So all the way until October, imagine walking around from June to October believing you got cancer. July, I was in the hospital because I had, my iron was low, and they said that could be a part of me maybe having lupus or something to that nature. They just didn't know what it was. And, I always get emotional. They didn't know what it was. So 5 months I walk around and I had no idea what was going on. And I'm praying and I'm seeking God and I'm laying out before God, asking the question that most of you may never understand. And that question was, Lord, why me? Can you heart it up if you've ever been to a why me moment? Yes, I know that's what Grandma and them said. Don't ask the Lord, why me? I get that. But if you ain't never been through this, you will never understand it. You'll never understand when somebody goes through a sickness. And God had to let me go through this because he wanted me to see that there's going to be some people that's going to come your way that's going to understand what you've been through. And you're going to you can't go talking about something because you're not validated in sickness. So I got to validate you in your sickness. Come here. Sometimes God allows things to happen to you, sickness, whatever it may be, blood pressure, whatever. You can tell them what kind of pills and what pills not to take. I can tell people right now, the pill starts with the L not to take this medication. And later I found out on Facebook that this medication was putting people in the hospital and it was for blood pressure medicine. And they had me on the same medication. So God, I thank you for not allowing that to happen to me. I'm talking about people that were in a coma. People that were about to die from this. But God said, no, not you. Okay. Let me get back to the subject. So, because I only got a couple of minutes and I want to tell this story to get you to understand that you got to face your sickness. So, I had to face this. I had to deal with this. And I couldn't tell anybody. I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want any sympathy. I didn't want none of that. So, nobody knew in the church. Make a long story short, we get to November. Doctors tell me that, okay, it's not October. No, it's not cancer. That's not what it is. And it's not lupus. That's not what it is. What it is, your kidneys are bleeding. Ugh. And you have I can't think of the disease. It was whatever. It's in my book. I can't pronounce it. But it was a disease, a kidney disease. And so what happened was, remind you, I'm still swelling. I mean, I can't put my feet down. My feet got to stay up, elevated every day. I don't know what's going on with my body. And I can't walk. I can't work out. I can't do any of that. So what happened was they told me my kidneys was failing. Come December, the doctors told me that your kidneys are failing. And your right kidney is bleeding. And you may have to do oh my God, y'all help me. What is kidney? Are y'all still there? Can y'all heart it up? Facebook, are you still there? Can you put the number 1 on the screen if you're still there? Are y'all there? Okay, I see you, Periscope. Yes. Facebook, where you at? Are y'all still there? I don't see nothing. Okay, there we go. So, I'm by December. They go and they do, so I just started, I called my mom. I finally called my mom because my mom is a praying woman. And I called my mom and I told her, I said, Mama, I told her what was going on. And this was November. And so my mama started bombarding heaven, calling people from Dallas, calling all her prayer warriors. Can I tell you that prayer works? You hear grandma say that. You hear your uncle say that. You hear your mama say that. But when you find out for yourself that prayer does work, it does work. So my mom then went and bombarded heaven. They started calling a prayer group. They started interceding for me because at this time I can't intercede for myself. And I just kept telling our prayer team in our church, we just need y'all to pray. We wouldn't tell them what. I wouldn't tell them why. You remember her coming to the church praying. Yes, my mama came to the church. And they asked my mom, the prayer group was praying, but they didn't know why they was praying. But my mama was praying over the church, over me, just in case somebody tried to do some witchcraft. My mama was the undercover prayer warrior for me during this time. And there are some things that she picked up, but that's on another day. I will say this, is that, baby, if you don't have nobody in your corner that's praying and seeking the Lord for you, you need to make sure that you have people on your team, somebody that's with you that can intercede when you can't, because there will be a time in your life where you're going to want to give up, where you're going to want to throw in the towel, where you're not going to have the strength to pray. Come here, somebody. When you like everything in your life is going wrong. God, I can't pray right now. You need somebody in your circle. Can you type on the screen? I need somebody praying. I need somebody that can pray for me when I can't pray for myself. I need somebody interceding for me when I don't understand the issue or the problem. I had my mama. I don't care what we've been through. I don't care what went on with us. But my mama was praying for me. Can I tell you, come December, they did another test on me by January. December, the doctor saying I'm going to have to be on dialysis. They saying all this stuff. But I serve a God. Oh, okay. So remind you. So I go to the doctor in January. When I go to the doctor in January, they do blood work and all this stuff, preparing me for a biopsy on my kidneys. And I went through all that, did the biopsy. They go and check my kidneys and all this great stuff. Can I tell you that when they checked my kidneys, the doctors called me in February of 2016. And he called me in and he said, I'm sorry, Miss Harden, but I had to, before I called you, it took us so long to call you because when I looked at the fact, when I had to call you, I couldn't because what happened with your kidneys is unheard of. What happened with your kidneys was unheard of. We'd never heard of this before. So I had to get my doctors and all of my colleagues to take a look at what was happening. And maybe it was something that we missed. Oh God. You didn't hear me. Maybe there was something that we missed because we found out that your kidneys started fixing themselves. I dare you to heart it up in here on Facebook as if you're hollering. Oh, maybe you ain't gonna holler with me. I holler for myself. God did it. When I tell you, I know who did it. I know who healed me. I know who put my kidneys together. I know who made it happen. It was nobody but God. Nobody but God, because the Bible says that the prayers of the righteous avail it much. Why did I have to face my pain? This is why I had to face my pain, because I had to realize that there were some mistakes that I was making. There were some things that I was doing to my body that I knew better. Come here. Can I tell you that things don't happen by accident? And God understood. Game changer moment. God understood that where he was about to take me and what he's about to do with me, there was some things that I just couldn't get away with. Come here real quick. About to tell on myself. I didn't tell the women. I told the women later. All the women in my church know about this. But how about I was taking BC powder. I've been taking BC powder since I was 11 years old. I didn't think anything was wrong with BC powder. I'm taking BC powder because I get headaches, not realizing that the BC powder was giving me the headaches. So I would take more to stop the headache. And found out later, because of so much medication, so many things, and other medication that I was taking, oh my God, it was messing up my kidneys. So the doctor decided, can you heart it up if you feel me? There's some things that we can do to put our own self in a situation when God done told us, okay, look, I need you to eat right. I need you to do this right. I need you to do all this right so that I can bless you, because there's some places I want to take you. There's some things I want to do with you to get you to your promised land. But I need you to let go of some stuff. Come here. Game changer moment. I need you to let go of some stuff. So I get on this thing. Oh my God. Okay. I'm probably 10 minutes over. So I'm trying to hurry up and say this quick. So they put me on medication. Well, the medication that they put me on like 6 different medications. Okay. And the medication that they put me on, I end up having an allergic reaction. And so that's what you see in my book, in the very back of my book. If you have my book, you'll see it. In the very back of my book, you will see where, I got swole up. One day I walked in church and I was unable to walk. And I was like, I was limping on a cane. I mean, not on a cane, but I was limping and I refused to take a cane. But after a while, I couldn't walk. They would have to pick me up and put me in the car at the church. I was still working. I never stopped working. What do I mean face your pain when it comes to your sickness? You can't allow your sickness to stop you. Oh, come here. You have to push past your sickness. Periscope, I'm sorry. I keep missing y'all over here. But you got to push past your sickness. Can somebody say you got to push and press? Type on the screen, push and press. Push and press. You got to push and press. You can't stop because what the doctors say. You can't stop because of what they're telling you. You can't stop because it gets so bad. Can I tell you that you're looking at a girl that was I needed God so much to where I still went to church. I had to face the fact that this is what I've done to myself. Did nobody do this? God, okay, I've allowed myself to go taking this all this time, taking it once, twice a week, 3 times a week. That was just too much for my body. And I'm like, okay, Lord, so I need you to teach me how to go through this and how to keep pushing. When I tell you that was a fight on the inside of me, there was programs that were set up that I had to show up to that I didn't want to, man. Because of how I looked, my face was so swollen. My hands were swollen. I couldn't even wear my rings. I couldn't wear certain shoes because my feet were too big. They would have to help me upstairs because I couldn't make it upstairs by myself. There was times my husband had to bathe me. There were times my daughter had to drive for me because I couldn't drive myself because I would get cramps in my body because of the medication. The side effects was muscle spasms, and I would get muscle spasms, not just like within, muscle spasm lasts like 5 minutes. Well, I would get them back to back, an hour at a time, and I would be screaming to the top of my lungs because I was in so much pain. My eyelids would have muscle spasms. My arms, my back, everywhere on my body would have my hair started falling out. It was I got chills to where my husband would have to. I got rashes on my body, and I hear cancer patients talking about this and how they got rashes on their body, and I would have to get in the tub to warm my body up because I would be so hot. Can I tell you this? Is that in order for you to face your pain and your sickness, you got to make sure that you can conquer the fears of death. You got to I know that may be hard. Can somebody type on the screen, conquer your fears? You got to conquer your fears. There was times I told God that, you know what, you can go ahead and take me now. Lord, take me now. Because I didn't want to be here anymore. I got tired of the pain. It was hurting so bad. I got tired of hyperventilating. I couldn't even lay down and sleep because I was hyperventilating. Oh, but can I tell you this? Your sickness had to happen. That everything that you've experienced in your sickness, from diabetes, from whatever it is, that it has to happen. There were other people that yes, Sister Santora, I had to call her because she experienced the same type of stuff that I was going through. And she was the only person that understood. Nobody else got it. And nobody else understood. But can I tell you that God will put somebody in your path that can teach you and that can show you that, girl, I've overcome it. I came out of it, man. I can tell you, you can make it. And she was that girl for me to remind me, girl, you can make it, because nobody else got it. But I come to tell you this. This is my first point. You got to conquer your fears. You got to conquer your fears of, I'm going to die, or my kids are going to be left here, or you got to conquer that. How do I conquer that? I conquer that by saying, you know what, God, at the end of the day, there's nothing that I can do. This is your will, and your will has to be done however you have decided to happen. And God, I can't push. I can't do anything, but God, I'm trusting you right now. That's the only thing I could do, was trust God. All I could do was trust God that God was going to do it. I know that sounds cliche. I know that sounds like what everybody tell you. I know that sounds like a prescription over the counter. No, I'm telling you that you literally have to trust God. And you have to conquer your fears and face your pain and say, Lord, look here. Whatever I have to do in this season to not quit and to not give up and to not throw in the towel, that's what I'm going to do. So I want to encourage whoever's watching this and you're sick, you're going through sickness right now. I want to encourage you on tonight that you can get through this, man. You're looking at a girl that has gotten through it. You're looking at a girl that overcame it. You're looking at a girl, I don't even look like what I've been through. I'm telling you, God can do the same thing for you. The same thing he did for me, he can do for you. The doctor said you had cancer. God can tell that that's what the doctor say. But I know people that are walking around that are living witnesses that could tell you that God has healed their body completely of cancer. But it's your decision to not live in fear. Yes, you're going to have moments like, God, I don't get it. But you got to find out the why. Why am I here? What is my why? That's the second question. What is my second point? What is your why? I got one more and I'm done. What is my why? My why for me, when I was going through my sickness, facing my pain and my sickness, my why was that, God, no matter what happens and no matter what goes on, I'm going to stay committed and true to you. I'm not going to go back to what I used to do. I'm not going to go back to, to the streets. I'm not going to go back cussing, clowning, whatever. God, I'm going to be committed to you. I'm going to be committed and sold out to you regardless. Because the same thing you did to Job. Job lost everything he had. But one thing about this is that Job got it back. But the thing that I love about what God put me through was that I had to realize, God, I get why you're doing this. My second reason for why is that how can I help others that go through sickness? How can I help others that go through pain as a leader, as a pastor, if I ain't never been through it? Because one thing about me, if you know me well enough, you know I don't talk about something that I ain't never been through. But I talk about it if I've been through it. And God said I had to validate you. That's your why. Your why is your validation. You got credits of saying that I've experienced that before. Now, I've never been through cancer, but I had the thought of it. I've never been through leukemia or lupus. I had the thought of it. But God, one thing I will say is that I can tell people now that you are really a healer. I can tell people now that you are really a protector. I can tell people now that I've been through depression, but God brought me out of it. I can tell people now how it feels to be in a tunnel and there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I can tell people that now. I can tell people now. Oh, glory. I can tell people now that I don't feel like, I don't know if I'm coming out of this. I can tell people how to feel about that now because I know my why. Lastly, I got to continue to convince myself to believe that God is doing just what he said he was going to do. What is that? He's going to grow you in this. He's going to build you in this. He's going to impart into you in this. But you got to be able to accept it. You got to be able to accept whatever you're going through. Face whatever you're going through and say, God, you know what? You did this. And I'm cool with it. You did this and I got to be okay with it. So God, teach me how to walk in this. Can I tell you, I showed up at our mother-daughter breakfast and it's a big event that I do every year. I did not want to go. But I walked in there boldly because I learned how to face my pain and my sickness. I walked in there boldly, didn't care what they whispered and talked about me because nobody knew but our church family. But there were other people that were there and they saw me on this cane. Oh, I dare you to heart it up. Walking boldly with my swole face, still walking in ministry, still doing ministry, still speaking into the lives of people because guess what? I learned how to face my pain and you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing when it comes to your sickness, man. It doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter what the doctors are saying. You got to believe and trust God. And God, if you're allowing this to happen, God, you're allowing it to happen for a reason. And I just got to find out my why. My why was after everything was over with, and it's so much more, but after everything was over with, I had about 4 to 5 women, and Sister Chantora, you can attest to this. I had other women that came to me that was going through the same thing. There was a woman that walked in our church. And she came from, matter of fact, she's a part of this. And I'm not going to say her name. And you know who you are. She came to me, to our church. She was taking the same medicine that we were taking, that I was taking, that Sister Chantora was taking. The same medicine. And she had she had rashes. She had all this stuff that was going on. Sister Chantora, heart it up if you remember. And guess who I pulled? Because the Bible says, well, 1 or 2 are gathered together in my name, that I would be in the midst. Come here, and I'm done. Well, 1 or 2 are gathered together in my name, I'll be in the midst. How about I pull Sister Chantora, Elder Rayford? She's an elder at our church. I pulled her to the side and I said, Elder, come here. I say, I need you to minister to her. We need to minister to her and let her know that you can come out of this. Let her know that you can overcome this. Let her know that you can do this, man. She was swole just like I was. So God allowed that to happen if it was just for her. Can I tell you that your sickness may be just for one? But ever since her, I met so many other people that have experienced the same thing that I was experiencing. I wish I could remember the name of that medicine that they had me on. The medicine, it was making me hallucinate. It was making me, you got to read these medications and find out, what are the side effects. And don't just trust the doctors. You got to do the research yourself. What are you giving me? Why are you giving me this? Can I tell you that if I would have got off that medicine, it would have put me in a coma. So I had to slowly get off the medicine. I couldn't just get off of it like that. So I come to tell you on tonight, and it was steroids, some type of steroids. I can't remember the name. But I come to tell you tonight, and I'm going to leave you with this. You got to face your pain and your sickness. You got to be bold in it. Don't you dare. Can somebody type on the screen if you're there? Don't you dare give up. Come on, I dare you to heart it up. Say, don't you dare give up. This is not the season. This is not the hour. It is never the season or the hour for you to give up. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's paying attention to you. You never know who is trying to walk in your footsteps. You never know. And it's your job to make sure that you keep pushing in your sickness. Don't you dare say, you know what, I got cancer and I'm just going to quit. I ain't going nowhere. I'm too sick. I'm too sick to do this. And I get it. When I tell you I get it, man, that yeah, you gonna have sick days. There were days that I couldn't go to work because it was just too bad. But that wasn't all the time. I pushed through it. And I tell you this, don't you dare allow your sickness to stop you from getting the promises that God has for you. Can I tell you this? Even while I was being sick, I said, God, no matter what, I still want to build a legacy. How about this? Still sick. Come here. This is why you got to face your pain and your sickness. Because there's something that God has for you. And I'm done. There's something that God has. I'm going to go to 8:40. I'm done. God has for you. There's something that God has for you to do. And I didn't realize I was writing the time that I was sick. Guess what I was doing? I was writing this book called There's Power in Your Pain. And while writing this book, I had stopped writing it for like a year. And during my sickness, God had me write while I was sick. Finish writing this book. And that's where you get the cane and all that stuff on it. Was because God had to show me that it was necessary what I put you through. Can somebody type that on the screen? It's necessary that God puts you through something. Adversity, you gotta have it. It's necessary that you go through it. It is so necessary. So I encourage you today, don't you dare quit. Don't you dare give up. You move until you can't move no more. You press until you can't press anymore. You move forward until you can't move forward anymore. Don't you stop. Your children are watching you. Your family is watching you. And don't just do it for them, but you do it for yourself. I believe, and I tell people all this all the time, is that if I would have quit, I think I would have died. I really believe that. If I would have quit, I think I would, because you can't quit. I heard a story of this man. He was walking around in my husband's job, walking around. I probably shared this with y'all before. And he was an older man. And my husband asked him, man, why you walk every day? And why you don't just, he was too old to be walking. He had to be like 85, 90. And my husband said, why you walk every day? He said, because if I stop walking, I'll start dying. So can I come and tell you, if you stop moving, if you don't keep pushing towards your goal in your sickness, you're going to give up. So this ain't the time for you to give up. You keep doing stuff like you've been doing. Don't stop. Don't dare stop. So my words to you tonight is don't give up. Don't stop. Keep moving. You're looking at a girl that didn't quit, that didn't give up, wanted to. Probably should have. But because I wanted to leave a legacy. See, when you're trying to leave legacies for your babies, what I mean legacy? I mean, I'm trying to leave a print in this earth that my girls will never forget that my mama did A, B, C, D, and E. And because I did not quit, not only am I an author of one book, but I'm an author of 2 books. I'm also now a coach that what I never would have thought that I'll be doing. to where I'm doing one-on-one coaching with people that is changing life. It's not a bragging moment, man, but it's the point to tell you, don't you dare quit. Don't you dare give up. Keep moving. I love you guys. I can't wait. I'm done. I can't wait for March. I'm going to put the flyer out here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tonya Hardin, a.k.a. the Game Changer Coach. My goal is to get you from your pain to your passion, from your passion to your purpose, from your purpose to your promise, so that you can get the promises of God that he has for you. I'm also the co-pastor of New Destiny Fellowship Church. Woo, woo. Best church ever. Love them to death. Love what we're doing. And love my husband and my children to death. So I thank you so much for joining me. I will be posting some things. I have a class that's coming up. It's going to be dealing with facing your pain, but on a whole nother level. Now I'm taking you somewhere. I'm going to be taking you somewhere. Can you heart it up if you're ready to go to your next? Your next is waiting on you. Your next is for you. Your next, you got to get it. But it's going to be more information. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram under the Game Changer Coach. You can also go to my website, which is www.tonyahardin.com. Hey, I'm trying to be in these streets for real. So make sure you follow me. Be there. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. Until next week. Next week is facing your pain and your singleness. Oh, can't wait. So I love you guys. Continue to be encouraged. Continue to receive the affirmations. Read them so that you can be empowered throughout your week. Plan, prepare, and go to your next level. You got to see it. You got to believe it. But most of all, you got to be it. I love you guys. Stay blessed.